Thank you, Enrique, for inviting me to this session. I'm really glad to share with you some of the past and the present of smart villages. It's really a pity that we don't have representatives from villages, if I'm not wrong. And I suppose that maybe representatives from local action groups are in the other group. But I think that we can share them later, the results of our discussion. So for those who are not so familiar with smart villages, I would like just to have a quick background of the history of the concept. Let's go to the next slide. So since 2017, when the European Commission launched an action plan about the concept of smart villages with, let's say, the first reflections on the future of villages. I think that a lot of work have been done so far. So just to remind you, and if you want after, I can share with you in the chat some, let's say, key resources websites. At the very, very beginning, the European Network for Rural Development launched a thematic group on smart villages and started to see what is about this concept and how we can find some practical information on the ground. After, with the initiative of the European Parliament, we have a pilot project on smart eco-social villages. And this report, it is interesting for us because we have, let's go to the next slide, we have the elaboration of the definition of smart village. Just to point out the same elements that we can find in other territorial tools. We talk, of course, about local communities at the very, very low level. We talk about villages. Of course, we have the element of the participatory approach. This is something that local communities have started from the beginning to have the engagement of local population. And of course, you have elements like the needs, because we talk really about the needs of local communities, and to send some, let's say, not strategies, because strategies is maybe it is a strong word, some vision, some plans for the future, by thinking to see which are the most suitable and, let's say, smart solutions for the local needs. Of course, here we have elements as cooperation and multi-funded solutions. These are really elements that we have to keep in mind, because maybe later we can see that there are still some needs. So after this definition, again with the initiative of European Parliament, we have two preparatory projects. Let's go to the next slide, please. I'm almost sure that most of you, you have heard about Smart Rural 21 and Smart Rural 27 projects. The Smart Rural 21 project has tried really to see if the concept of smart villages can be operational on the ground. And with this project, we are trying to see in 21 villages exactly what is going on. Very quickly, I will, the next slide, please. Just to tell you about the Smart Rural 27 project. Here, the focus, let's say it was more policy oriented. A lot of deliverables have been carried out. I will just take 2 minutes to present you two tasks that maybe can contribute to our discussion later. The first one, let's go to the next slide, please. Okay. at the level of, in the context of Smart Rural 27, there was an internal report produced based on to see if all these exams that have been gathered under Smart Rural 21 and 27 have some elements related to, let's say, green transition aspects. And more specifically, if there are villages that they have addressed needs related to farm-to-fork strategy, to biodiversity or European Green Deal aspects. Based on a review of 170 exams, we have a first overview, and there is a mapping of smart solutions that we can find in all these initiatives. And we can keep that the four big blocks are solutions about green energy, about biodiversity, about agriculture and food, and smart mobility. The next time, slide, please. Here you have a more detailed, let's say, list. Of course, these numbers show more the tendency that a lot of communities, they have already worked and seems that they would like to continue to work on energy aspects, for example. I don't think that I have something here more to say. You can see some themes. The next slide, please. Okay, here another very interesting work done during Smart Rural 27. It was really to map examples not only related to green transition aspects, but to every aspects, because you know that smart village is a concept that can cover several sectors. But I would like just to raise your attention that in the website of Smart Rural 27, you can find, first of all, some lighthouses exams, lighthouses communities, and we will have the time later to hear Fritz from the village of Stanz, which has worked a lot on the concept of energy community. Of course, there is a very rich geomapping tool, not only in Smart Rural 27 website, but also in Smart Rural 21, where you can find a lot of let's say, green solutions. And another outcome of Smart Rural 27, can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, it was the mapping of the CAP strategic plans on smart villages. How the member states, they have planned to introduce this concept to their strategic plans. Here, just to remind that the regulation of the Common Agricultural Policy for this programming period explains explicitly the support to the preparation and the implementation of smart village strategies. Of course, there are some other interventions like cooperation or investments that can contribute to the concept, but the main one is the preparation and implementation. And of course, the main specific objective, the Smart Villages initiatives can contribute to specific objective 8, but of course we can have also some cases where member states would like to focus more on climate change mitigation and adaptation, or biodiversity or ecosystem services. From the mapping, we can see also that if you want leader, it is the choice of member states. The member states, they have chosen to implement, to test and try to implement smart villages through the leader method. It's something which sounds normal, because with leader you have really structured the local action groups, which they could really initiate, animate a smart village initiative in their areas of intervention. Can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, here we have some details. Just to tell you that in some cases, we see that there is a big interest for food supply chains, for contribution to environmental objectives. But just to remind you that now we are really at the stage of the planning. We know which are the plans of the member states, and now we are entering in a period of implementation. So for the moment, I don't have more to share with you. But we know that, and we are expecting that around 100 smart village strategies or projects will be implemented during this programming period. Um, can we go to the next slide, please? Okay. So, of course, there was a huge job done during Smart Rural 27 project, and mainly analytical work. The final report of the project is ready, and it will be published shortly. But we have a very important, let's say, list of recommendations. Here, I took some of them because with the coordinator of Smart Rural 27, who is together with us today, Edina Osko, we have discussed a lot. And I think that here I can present you the most important, on which we should discuss later, because the recommendations are always very welcome, but at the end of the day, we have to find solutions for local communities. So I just take some of them. Capacity building. It is a need for continued capacity building and awareness raising on smart villages. Of course, local communities, they need to exchange experiences, knowledge, and this we should keep in mind that networking activities are always welcome. Just one point about strategies. We talk about strategies, but maybe it's better to talk about plans, about a vision of local population, about its future. So the people needs really tangible actions and not really vague statements of intent, etc. The question of what is smart, what is innovative, it is always in question. It's not something new. It's too old, but at the same time, local population still wonders what can be innovative. Of course, there is still a need to improve the policy framework at EU level, but also at the national level, to support more local action groups to implement the smart villages, because even if local action groups, they have a knowledge about how to animate rural communities, smart villages concept has also its own specificities. And at the end, I have to say that at this moment we talk about several strategies at the European, national, regional, local level. So there is, of course, a need to align these strategies, and the most important is to reach an ownership from the side of rural people who live in these communities. So I will end up, next slide, please, with some questions. I will not, read them, but there are, I think that we have to think more about this. For example, which are the needs of the rural communities? the people who live and work there for more capacity building, for more resources. What they need, because, okay, they can have a vision, but this how to operationalize and how to find the adequate support. I think that we will have time, Enrique, to discuss further later. So that's all from my side. I hope that I didn't take a lot of time. I agree with Enrique that this session is really to hear the thoughts and the questions of participants. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maria-Christina. I think very complete presentation, the history of smart villages. A lot of has been done in very few years, I have to say, for a policy. And you raised a lot of important points where perhaps I would like you all to drive your attention. In this session, we're going to have one question, and it's about what can we recommend to improve smart villages now and in the future. So finding solutions. I took note already issues around awareness raising. This is a policy. It only happens if managing authorities wants to support it. So how can we make sure that they are aware of it, but also at local level? It only happens if as well local people are aware that there are these opportunities for them. So the two, how do we raise awareness on both levels? It's about innovation, requires knowledge. It requires capacity building to innovate. What can we offer? What are the solutions? What are the examples we have here that could help? The policy talked about strategies. Is it a strategy? Is it a vision? How can we make sure that communities are engaged again in this? So participation, very important one. Innovation, I think I mentioned it. Mobilization of young people, that was a crucial question you as well put on the table here, Maria-Christina, a very important one. So voila, we have quite some points. So now, today we want to really focus on solutions. And to inspire you even more, to get you even more ideas, we got with us a smart village. One of these lighthouse smart villages, precisely as well in the green transition. So for those of you that were with me in the previous topic, I see already some topics that are very much connected. So we see a role on smart villages in the green transition. So I'd like to welcome Fitz. He's from Stanz, a village in Austria, and he will enlighten us with their experience there. So I think you are in the group, right, Fritz? You can share slides and everything. You're muted.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you, yes. Can you share your slides? You want my colleague to share? Yes, we see it.
Okay, is everything all right?
Yeah, floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. I wish you a pleasant afternoon and would like to thank you for the opportunity to give me the chance to talk a little bit of our work in terms of energy transformation. My name is Friedrich Pichler. I am the chairman of a citizen list in our small village, and I have been the mayor for the last 10 years. So the first picture, you can see we are located right between Vienna and Stanz, between Vienna and Graz. Stanz is a very small community, about 1,800 inhabitants. And on the right side, you can see where it looks like in Stanz. So when you step into local politics from the side, you need a few things. The one is you need structure, and I learned you need people who have the same problem. So we stepped into two very important programs in terms of help and in terms of support. It was Smart World 21 and Smart World 27. They brought us forward a lot, and it was a great pleasure to work with Santina and her team. And we found 10 years ago that there is a huge loss of confidence in the creative power of politics. So this was not really surprising, but what was surprising for us is that people have also lost their faith of their own power to change something. So as a conclusion, for the last 10 years, municipalities in Austria are suffering from a type of toxic mixture of overregulation, loss of independence, autonomy, and so on. So the whole thing is exacerbated by the challenges by climate change, which you can see every day in the newspapers. So the thing is, how can we break through this destructive mode and convince people to get involved again? That's a big challenge. In Austria, in Stanz, we have implemented a number of projects in which people's participation is a very central component of our work. It doesn't help to use best technology if people do not understand you and they are not able to explain when we are not able to explain the benefits. So social innovation is therefore a type of twin of technical innovation. So both are very important in our opinion. So because if people cannot recognize the immediate benefit, they will come out and invest. They do not come out and invest their free time for the community. So I would like to get a little bit more detail in what we're doing in the terms of energy transformation. So our big goal is not to become self-sufficient. So in the area of energy, self-sufficient is a concept which is the type of concept in your head which have a lot of fancies. So we want to actively utilize the opportunities of the future of the energy market. I think, and we are thinking that's much more better for a small community, because who will stop us to, for example, buy surplus electricity on the stock exchange? Large corporations do it every day, so it's for us it's just a question of knowledge and it's a question of scaling. So our big goal is to consume 50% of our locally generated electricity in the next 5 years, and we need to produce it, to distribute it, to build and perhaps to store it in some ways. And we are using some vehicles for that. The most important is our local energy group. Now we have about 82 members, and we use a very high-end technical platform for recording, distributing, and controlling all these technical processes you need to distribute your electricity in a good way. So one main thing is that energy independence is that it begins with data independence. So that was the reason we use, for example, blockchain technology, that everyone in the community knows what's going on in the community. So you can see a screenshot of our application. There, everyone in our community can see all the processes which are going on in the community, and it's very, very important that everyone has the same type of knowledge and the same type of information, because that's the main reason they get motivated to bring in their knowledge. So I don't want to go much more in all this technical stuff. Now we are in a policy making session, so I want to tell you what we need on a local level, because we are involved in a lot of projects which is connected to the academic world, and we found out that there are a lot of brilliant experts and this very good and useful knowledge. But we have also realized that these experts are busy writing research proposals all the time, and they do not have time to pass over their nice knowledge. So, so we need more permeability, I think, of the academic sphere down to the local level. And next problem is that a lot of current experts can't hand over their knowledge because people don't understand them. That's a big problem. They are talking to each other, but they do not communicate. And that's a thing we try to come over, but it depends on the person more or less. That's quite a problem to hand over this knowledge that people on the local level can understand. The next thing is simplifying funding applications. Our first LEADER project was about 5,000 euros. And once we have finished and finalized all that stuff you need to be successful, we had one big conclusion. The conclusion was never LEADER again, because it was for 5,000 euros much too complicated to get this money. Last week, we did a Horizon project. It was big work, and it's very complicated at the local level to have all this special knowledge, to have all this special language, this special grammar and systematic to do all the prerequisites you need to get a successful project. So for the local level, it's very demanding to go all into these funding details. To get reliable knowledge it's also a problem, because when the academic world is not able to bring down the knowledge in a way ordinary people can understand it, the second possibility that you have is to get the knowledge out of the private business. But to get it out of the private business costs a lot of money. You can't pay 150 to 300 euros an hour. This rate is much too high, and the small community is not able to deliver all that money. So the question is, where should the knowledge come from? SmartWorld 21 did a really nice thing. We appreciate it much. They don't give us money, they give us expertise. That was a very nice idea, because the expert was brilliant, and what you get as an add-on, you get her or his knowledge, and you get her or his network behind. So this was very fruitful for us to get expertise, because sometimes when you get money, when you don't have a strategic plan, you waste more or less your money. It's often the case in many communities in Austria. So expertise was a nice experience. The thing is, we need a little bit more bottom-up approach. A lot of nice ideas get stuck in the regional or the national level, and they don't come to all the policymakers. I have no receipt how to do that, but I realize that this is more or less a problem for us to convince people that to have a good idea on local level. So, and the last point is, I think it's important to have more room for reflection. What does that mean? We, as a small community, you have a lot of daily work to do. And as a municipality, we need formats where we can reflect on what we do at the local level with people which come from outside. So, because when you every day do the daily work, you get a little bit, you have a blind spot. When people come from outside, they can have a different perspective, and it's sometimes very beneficial, I think, to think outside the box and to get faced in constructive criticism from outside experts or other people who are working in this field. So these are more or less my 5 points I want to share with you. As a conclusion, What's interesting is to get connected to other municipalities who have a strategic plan how to shape their future. So because to talk to each other and to talk to other people which have the same problem was very, very beneficial to us. We have a lot of communities who come to Stanz. Last year it was about 40, 2/3 from Austria and 1/3 from abroad. And it's very, very fruitful to talk to these people, to talk to other communities. And because some of them have very nice ideas and the exchange of knowledge this type is not very expensive. So this is more or less our most our best way to gather good knowledge, to learn from other people. So that's more or less the conclusion, to get a network of municipalities who think in the same direction. It would be a nice goodie to have. Thank you.